What up, YouTube? It's your boy Blingo back here with another video. I hope y'all all been living y'all truth. Now listen, we got Drake in here being petty again. Just want to be petty. Always want to be petty. Always want to have a problem. Always want to diss. Always want to be troll. I don't understand why you still going troll. Why you still want to troll if you took it to the end? The end all be all is suing. You took it to the court. So why do you want to still do stuff outside of the court? You know what I mean? Like, just leave it alone. We handle it in court. Leave everything else alone. Stop trolling. Stop trolling. Stop being petty. It just makes yourself look bad. It makes yourself look corny. It's just no point. So Kendrick and SZA, somebody posted about Kendrick and SZA lowering the prices of the Toronto show. And of course, old Drake, petty boy, gonna go and like it. Like, he gonna like the post. Like, bro, just leave it alone. Anyway, Fantastic Hip Hop about to break it down. He got all the details of everything. We're gonna react to it. And let's see what corny stuff Drake been doing.
Now, when it comes to Drake, well, if you are ready to see what is about to be the worst week ever in his career, in a sense, in terms of Drake just realizing how much he has really lost within this entire moment in time in hip-hop that is going to go down in the books as the dot era, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now, with that said, well, with the biggest loser in hip-hop, there's no other way to put it, but it's just a bad time to be lame old Lamar, because at the end of this week, well, he can no longer run and hide away from the loss that he took to Kendrick Lamar that has been so bad that he has spent the last year of his career running away from Kendrick in every single way he possibly can. Because coming up, well, Kendrick Lamar's Grand National Tour is stopping within the place that Drake only ever thought would happen in his worst nightmares, as of course. Kendrick and SZA are bringing the biggest show in the music industry right now to the Rogers Center in Toronto, and now with this.
And I'm be honest, y'all. When it comes to this Toronto show, I don't know how to feel about it. I'm happy that Kendrick is doing it. I just don't want nothing crazy to happen. You know what I mean? I don't want them to try anything. Drake is petty like that. He kind of did, well, it's allegedly he did that to Pusha T when Pusha T was in Toronto. And I don't want him to try to do that to Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? I think even if he did try that, it'll be the same outcome. That guy who went up on stage is going to get hurt. But I don't know, man. Top 5 been talking crazy. I don't know. But it seemed like he had to get out of there. Anyway, he went through his own problems. But let's keep it going.
Well, of course, this all-time nightmare for Drake has become real, and while the show is happening and there is not a single thing he can do about it at this point, this does not mean Drake is not going to be as annoying as he possibly can and is going to try to take this moment away in any single way possible, as already Drake has started running off with a series of cringe takedowns that are all trying to do one thing, which is just to discredit Kendrick Lamar and take away what this moment is going to represent in any pathetic way he possibly can. And now, before we get into what Drake has done specifically and how it is showing how scared and lame he is getting even for his own standards, well, if you have not already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now, really, as with the show Kendrick is coming up, for so many reasons, this is about to be the biggest show of the entire Grand National Tour and really of the year, aside from the Super Bowl, of course. Make sure to leave.
You think it's gonna be bigger than the LA show? I don't know if it's like the biggest. I mean, it might be the biggest because everybody want to see what's gonna happen. They want to see what's going to happen. They want to see how people going to react. But I don't know.
That like and subscribe so all of hip-hop understands what's going into this moment. And now, with that said, when it comes to Drake, man, at this point, with how far gone this guy has gone and how pathetic and ridiculous the stuff he is doing is, well, between being the softest rapper we have ever seen with the entire suit that he keeps pushing more and more and just making worse by the moment, and within that, recently, we have truly seen how bad this has gotten with everything that happened with Pusha T and how Drake tried to hold back the new Clips album from releasing and having a Kendrick Lamar verse on it in the first place. And then on the other...
Well, to be fair, it wasn't Drake trying to hold it back. That was UMG and Def Jam trying to hold it back because they don't want to deal with Drake. So that's kind of like, you know, yeah, that's the real reason. Drake really didn't have no say in it.
Other side of things, with Drake trying to cosplay as a tough guy rapper who is still trying to diss Kendrick Lamar in front of the fans and people to try and keep this act up that makes his fans think that he has some sort of control of his career. Well, with all of this, after keeping up with multiple costumes and personas that Drake has just been playing at this point, and it's getting as tiring as ever after what we saw last week, well, now making things even more confusing and even more baffling about how somebody is seriously doing this. Well, now Drake has seemingly thrown away that victim card, and now he is trying to convince us that he is a tough guy again who is still somehow trying to say anything to Kendrick Lamar to discredit him on any single...
Diss him in a record. Come out publicly and say something about Kendrick. Honestly, I don't think you're trying to be a tough guy. I think he's trying to be a troll. He ain't being a tough guy because it's hard to be a tough guy against people who got nothing but tough guys around him. It's going to be hard for him to just act like a tough guy. That's why he don't want to say nothing about Kendrick. He's not going to say nothing. He's just going to keep doing this little troll petty stuff, and it's stupid. It's stupid. Just leave it alone. You're Drake. You're Drake, right? The biggest artist, right? Some people still think you are the biggest artist right now. What are you still trolling Kendrick for? He's not trolling you. He's just doing a record. Just so happened that the record that he's doing, that's very big, is a record dissing you. You could have kept it going if you still had a problem, but you don't want to do that. Like, you just want to troll. Why? It's a waste of time. Let it go. You're already suing. Let it go.
Level, as most recently in the never-ending fall-off and cycle of embarrassment for Drake. Well, the guy is really in peak pathetic mode because, of course, as Drake is too scared to really diss Kendrick at this point on a song because he does not want to face the consequences of that, well, what Drake has shown is that within this tough guy persona that he is still trying to put on for everybody, he will still shade Kendrick Lamar and call him out on social media and with good old posts. And now, as there was a post from one of the Drake pages that was saying that Kendrick Lamar and SZA were lowering their ticket prices for their upcoming Toronto shows, well, Drake used this moment to try and come at Kendrick and discredit this show at any single level before it even started. And what Drake did was about the loudest thing he will do in this era, where he is absolutely terrified of Kendrick Lamar, which was just like the post so everyone could see that Drake was seemingly backing up this statement and that he was trying to get a laugh at Kendrick Lamar for seemingly failing in his and his weird fans' eyes. And with this, there's real...
Boo! That was freaking corny. Boo! Big giant boo.
A lot to address here about what Drake did and the message he is trying to send to his fans and hip-hop as a whole for that matter, but if you actually look into how Kendrick Lamar and SZA's show has been doing and what it will end up solidifying in Drake's own city, well, first off, what Drake is trying to say is an absolute lie. But now, before we even check into reality and just break down how Drake is wrong for even trying to push this narrative across, and it's really laughable that he tried to say this, well, we need to remember that when it comes to this table of artists who play at stadiums in hip-hop ever, which would only be Kendrick, Eminem, and Jay-Z, or artists in the industry right now on big stadium runs like Kendrick, Beyonce, or The Weeknd. Well, with this talent pool and these names as a whole, while these artists can sit at this elite table within the music industry and talk about what it means to command the biggest audiences and crowds possible on a night-to-night scale, Drake does not even have a seat at this table because he knows he is way too stale and lazy of a performer to ever hold the attention of an audience of this scale. And of course, that is why he has never done one.
That's crazy. I wonder why he never really truly did it. Like, Fantastic Hip Hop might be right. Maybe he just scared, he can't do it. But I don't know if that's it. I wonder why he didn't. Maybe he didn't want to get embarrassed and, it don't sell out or something. I don't know.
One of these things, and really beyond Drake just never being able to perform at a stadium. When it comes to having issues with tours, Drake is also really one to talk because if we remember, which again, when it comes to this idea of just looking at everything that's happened, this has really been the thing that has exposed Drake fans over and over again because they just conveniently forget things when it doesn't fit their narratives or it goes against and discredits Drake.
All the freaking time. All the time. They just completely discredit. They completely forget. All the time. And it gets on my nerves. That's why academics never really talk to nobody about it. You know what I'm saying? About the Drake and Kendrick. There's only one time I seen him talk, or twice. He was talking to Wack, and he was talking to the guys at the community podcast. That's the only time, and they both shut him down. But he don't go into conversations about the Drake versus Kendrick. He just talks. He doesn't go because if he just talks, there's nobody to challenge him. He could just put the narrative out there. But they just, while they're doing it, they forget other things, and that's the problem.
And shows how he's really a fraud. Well, with Drake's mess and crash out of his Anita Max Win tour, he literally canceled it with an explanation that was showing that the only thing that could have made Drake pass up on finishing the shows he had on the way was its poor ticket numbers, which looked bad from what we could see. And so now, aside from Drake, just really...
See? Oh, this is my problem, bro. Why you gotta be a hypocrite? Like, why? Why do you have to be a hypocrite? You know you had to do the same thing. You know you had to do the same thing. You had to cancel the tour or something like that. You left. You went all the way to Australia just to leave. Like, oh my gosh. And that wasn't a stadium tour. That was some regular junk.
Really being unable to even talk about this stuff seriously with the biggest artist in the world. And so now with all of this, aside from Drake just really being unable to even talk about this stuff seriously with the biggest artist in the world because of his own failure, when it comes to Kendrick Lamar and SZA's Grand National Tour, well, if we get into the numbers, every single one of the shows on this thing, besides the Houston show, which filled up 93% of the stadium, has not just ended up filling up every single seat and having a sold-out crowd, but Kendrick Lamar has literally ended up having the highest grossing hip-hop shows ever, all the way to the point that when it comes to this entire tour as a collective musical experience, it is going to end up as one of the highest grossing hip-hop tours of all time and really one of the biggest tours in the entire music industry when all things are said and done. And so now within this, when it comes to Kendrick Lamar's Toronto show, well, you can take a look for yourself when you look at the seating maps and also the ticket prices, which is...
That's huge. Yo, that is huge, bro. Look how big this thing is. To pick a ticket, you literally gotta zoom in. You gotta zoom all the way in to pick where you're gonna sit. Look at that. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Look at it. Yo, that's crazy, man.
Is what Drake was trying to clown Kendrick and act like was the big joke about this whole thing. Well, they are all in line with the rest of the tour, and they are projected to sell out back-to-back nights. And really, when we actually break things down, since the Rogers Center is a baseball stadium, because unlike most of the rest of the dates that the tour has stopped at, there are no football stadiums in Toronto. So the tickets are actually more in demand for this show because the venue is smaller than most cities, and this is why when you look at Kendrick Lamar and this upcoming Grand National event, and then what Drake is trying to say to take him down, again, when you just give this a little bit of thought, it couldn't be more wrong. And really, this is why with Drake, he is just so embarrassing as a person for still trying to go at Kendrick Lamar, especially with angles like this, because no matter how you want it.
That's the problem. It's like he just keep on and he's embarrassing himself. He is. It's so sad, bro. It's just so sad. Like, he just don't stop.
To put it. When you actually put his comments up to the light and actually try to see what they stand for, he cements himself as being more and more clueless with every move he makes, because even with liking something like this and trying to push this narrative, well, with the entire Drake community, the claims they make about Kendrick Lamar are not based around any sort of a truth or an idea that is rooted in the same reality that we all understand, and instead of this, Drake is just using the same worn out and embarrassing academics TV narratives that are just based in absolutely nothing other than just sensationalism that is just trying to bring together the worst people who could ever be in the hip-hop community. And really with this is why these people just purposely present things within a way where it is absolutely wrong to try and take down Kendrick Lamar like we are seeing right here, and we especially see this lack of basic comprehension that only people who think that The Hard Part 6 was a good song could ever have, when they are literally posting tickets to try and get a sort of gotcha moment on Kendrick Lamar, when they are literally on the secondary ticket sites, which for any Drake fan who is watching this, how all of these platforms that are trying to hype up the Grand National Tour on them work is by having people put up the tickets and then trying to flip the ones that they got directly from Kendrick Lamar and SZA's team when the tour was announced. And again, if you are making fun of Kendrick Lamar and SZA for this and are acting like it's their fault when in actuality, these platforms are solely around for secondary tickets, and it's literally how they are successful and stay running.
You hear that? You see, they go into the other websites or whatever just to prove a narrative. Just to try to spin a narrative. That is so corny. That is so corny. That's why, yo, guys, you can't just look at stuff and just be like, oh, I learned that. You know what I'm saying? You can't just watch stuff and just listen to stuff and be like, oh, snap, oh, this is what's happening. You got to do your own research because there's a lot of narrative spinners around here. A lot of narrative spinners. Can't just be listening to what people saying because they will make you look crazy.
I mean, really, if you were trying to use these things as disses, it's actually embarrassing the amount of comprehension that you are lacking. And so with all of this, as Drake is now trying to run with these narratives to take down this Toronto show, which are nowhere near the truth, and again, he is just hoping that somehow this is going to try and take the impact of what Kendrick Lamar is doing and make it seem like it's gonna be lame, or at the very least, just give his own fan base more material to run around with and try to spew around with the worst narratives possible when they are trying to do this same old sad coping that they have ever since Kendrick Lamar won the beef.
They've been trying this, and he's right. They've been trying this forever, since he won. The only thing, let's try to just ruin his character. Let's try to just put out all these fake narratives. We're going to put every fake narrative on the internet. Academics. More. Put fake narratives. We gotta kill this guy's story. You gotta kill him. We gotta destroy him. We gotta make people think how terrible he is. But the people, that's only gonna work for so long. It might work in the beginning, but then they're gonna be like, oh, but he just did a stadium tour. Oh, but he's the highest grossing. Oh, but he's killing you. Oh, but you're suing. Oh, but like it just looks bad. You just make yourself look bad. Like, oh gosh, man.
I mean, no matter how we want to look at this, it's all just really baffling and confusing from Drake, and it's truly showing how scared he is of this thing. And so really with this, no matter what Drake is doing with all of this lying and how sad it looks as a whole, I got news for you, and again, if you're a Drake fan, you're not gonna like this. When Kendrick Lamar gets on that stage in the Rogers Center, none of these little games Drake is pulling are gonna matter, and he only can run so much at this point because Kendrick Lamar is coming to Toronto and the shows are happening no matter what, and they are gonna be bad for him because when you even look at the Rogers Center itself and see how it looks in Toronto and how it has the skyline of the 6 behind it and so much iconography that Drake has of course tied directly to him, the moments that are gonna come out of this show are gonna be the representation of what this beef has really meant and how it has changed everything for hip-hop as a whole. And really with this, well, Drake is really going to have to try and a lot harder at that to make people believe that these Kendrick shows are failing, because they are not. And matter of fact, they are doing the exact opposite of this, and they are going to embarrass him bad. And now as
he's been embarrassed 1,000 times. That's what I'm saying. Like, why try to spin a narrative if you know what the truth is? And the truth is going to come out. Even after you try to spin a narrative, you know the truth is going to come out. So why are you doing this? What is the point? To get a short-term hype? To get a short-term hype, then the truth gonna come out? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Everyone is going to see this on the highest level possible sooner than ever for Drake in this show, which he still has days to crash out about. Well, based on what we have seen for other TDE artists when they have tried to come to the 6 and other Kendrick Lamar moments as a whole, I mean, we know Drake is going to be pulling more clown antics and trying to take away from this moment however he can, but the question is, with this never-ending crash out that Drake is having, how is he going to embarrass himself next and therefore show that through his own set of moves, how truly scared he is to see Kendrick Lamar not just play another show, but play within a bigger venue than he ever has in his own city, and therefore not just further cement himself as the king of hip-hop right now, but also the king of the 6. And so now with all of this said,
you did fantastic. You pick it now. Now you instigated to he's gonna be the king of the 6. No, he's not gonna be all that now. You instigated, little fantastic. You know that.
What do you think about Drake trolling and playing these little games again? And what do you think about...
So, sorry guys, I know I keep coughing. I told you I'm a little bit sick, but what do y'all think? Honestly, what do y'all think about this? Drake fans, what do y'all think? Because I'm sick of y'all coming in my comments talking about oh, you're just a Kendrick stan. You're just a Kendrick stan. Listen to me, and listen to me good. I was a huge Drake fan. Like, I was a really big Drake fan. I'm keeping it 100 with y'all. All right? I was listening to Drake before all of you. I promise you. I was listening to Drake before all of you. I was listening to him before Young Money. I was listening to him while he was still on Degrassi. But I am not a stan. So if I say I'm not a stan, that means I'm not going to sit there and turn a blind eye to stupidity. I'm not going to do that. You do that. You do that. And when you do that, you lose integrity. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. I'm going to keep it real. What you're doing is wrong. What Drake is doing is stupid. A lot of stuff he do is stupid. And if I'm as a big fan or a person who was a really big fan of his, mostly his older stuff these days, but a person who is a fan, I'm going to be real about it. I'm going to be real about it. And that's the thing. It's like y'all don't have a mind of your own. Like, y'all just think, do you think that the stuff that he's doing is cool? Like, honestly, you think that what he's doing is cool? Or you just trying to be, because he makes good music and music that you like, you want to sit there and ignore all the stupid stuff that he do? Like, how do you look? How do you look? You look crazy. You look crazy to people. Because if anybody else is doing some of the things he's doing, you won't be cool with it. If Kendrick Lamar, somebody that you hate right now, was doing the stuff that he's doing, you will make sure you clown him because of it. Don't be a bias and don't be that person. Don't be a stan. Be your own person. Be your own person. Live your own truth. You wouldn't do the stuff that he's doing, some of the stuff that he's doing. You just cool with him doing it because, oh, you love his music so much. Come on, man. Y'all got to stop that. And that's to all the Drake stands out there, because a real fan ain't going to be happy with the stuff that he's doing. Let's just keep it real. They're not going to be happy with that. Like, you don't go rap, especially if you're a real hip-hop fan too. Man, don't even call yourself a hip-hop fan talking about something. Oh, yeah, he should go sue. You know that's corny, right? You know you don't do that in hip-hop, right? That's what happens in battle rap. In battle rap, they say even worse things. Even way worse things. They don't go and sue. Like, that's corny. Like, I'm just going to leave that right there. But y'all let me know what y'all think about the video, man. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop. Like, comment, subscribe. I just had to get that off my chest because I'm tired of people in the comments. They coming out here talking about some, you a Drake, you a Kendrick stan. No, I ain't a stan to nobody. If Kendrick do something stupid, I'm calling it out. If Nas, my favorite rapper, if he do something stupid, I'm calling it out. I'm not biased to nobody. I live my truth. I ain't no follower either. And I hope y'all don't be no followers. All right? Live your truth. Shop VeroClothing.net. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave your comments on what you think about the video. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.